Today on the Guitar Hacker, we are going to take this horribly abused Galveston guitar and trying to make it something that can produce music again. Then on the Hack of the Day, we are going to talk about guitar tuners and how easy they are to swap out. Third part of the show, we are going to do some horrible things to a guitar, or maybe this one. It's all today on the Guitar Hacker. So today on the Guitar Hacker, the #1 guitar hacking website in Northeast Ohio, we are going to try and resurrect this Galveston guitar, which has been horribly abused. Someone was playing cornhole with it. There was some fireworks shot off inside of it. And when I got it, actually, it did not have a bridge or a nut or tuners or anything like that. I am going to try to install all that, clean it up a little bit, even though I usually like the that rough look. I'm going to try to clean it up and see if I can turn it into something that'll make musical tones. So I'm going to start the timer and let's give that a shot. A number of things made this easier to do. I had everything in place, all my tools and all that. And I had the nut already installed and glued the day before because that has to be stationary. But anyway, it was the first time I did it, and it only did take about 22 minutes, so I didn't think that was too bad. So I am certainly shocked at the results of putting this thing back together. I ended up just putting on some ping tuners, and they're not, exceptional, but they're good tuners. I put the new nut on and I put a new saddle on it, which is a bone saddle, and new strings, but the strings were absolutely cheap and it doesn't have a bad tone. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it would do better with some better strings on it. And I don't know if it could handle like even a light gauge string, because these are very light gauge. But just shocked at the results. And when I get back on the bench, I'll talk about some reasons why it might be some crazy things, including a reference to Joni Mitchell. So it's kind of strange. But let's take it back to the bench and talk about why it might be that it sounds good. Okay, so why does this Galveston guitar sound okay? I really am not sure. I mean, it's got better tuners on it now. It has a better bridge on it now. Galveston guitars were popular in the 80s and 90s, where they sold a lot of them because they were super cheap and they were like too good to be true. But the fact is they were not good guitars and they did not catch on. So one kind of weird thought I had, and here's our fun guitar fact of the day, is Joni Mitchell's Martin D28 was something that she got from a Marine captain who had been in Vietnam, and this guitar, her D28, had survived an explosion and some high heat, and she swore that it intonated better, it sounded better than a normal Martin D28. They thought maybe it was because of the heat, doing something to the guitar's finish or the wood of the guitar. So this guitar has been subjected, as you know, to some pretty high heat and a lot of smoke and, a lot of other forces. So I don't know, it's kind of a crazy thought. And the other thing about this guitar is it does have a little sound hole at the top that may have something to do with it sounding better to me, when I'm playing it sitting on my lap. So I really don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm gonna, if I do destroy it, I'll take the tuners off of it because those are nice tuners, and we'll see where it goes. But why don't we go to the hack of the day now, where we will talk about how easy and inexpensive it is to upgrade your tuners if you do have problems with the tuners on your cheap guitar. Let's go to the hack of the day. Okay, hack of the day. Tuning machines, they're not difficult to swap out. Take strings off. There's often a nut on the front. You can just take a little spin tight like this and just put it on there and take that off. And on the back, sometimes you have a screw, sometimes not. Sometimes you might have more than one screw. These are pretty typical tuners here that we find on these Chinese guitars. Here's what it looks like on a Taylor GS Mini. No screws on the back. You just have the nuts on the front to change out. Even on a bass, as Danny Sapko calls them, the tuners will have like 4 small screws on them maybe, but they're not difficult to swap out. In that case, they just have bushings on the front. They don't have a nut. But go on Amazon. There's the main tuners that are out there: Grover, Ping, Goto, Kluson. There's a few others. Waverly are really nice tuners. You can go to Stuart McDonald, which is stumac.com, and check them out. But the main point is, don't hesitate to change out a tuner if it's binding up a little bit. Just go and you can find something that'll fit your guitar. It won't be too expensive. That's the hack of the day. Okay, so it's time for the verdict on our Galveston guitar. As you can see, my assistant is giving the thumbs down. This one I think is just a little bit too beat up to give to anyone. I don't know that anybody's going to want it. And so we're going to take it for some pyrotechnical experimentation. Let's go there now. So before doing the Galveston, I decided to experiment with an old Oahu guitar that I had, that I got in the same lot with that Galveston. And I put some pyrotechnics, and here's what happened. And I taped that to the soundboard of the guitar. Here it comes in slow motion. You can see a little bit more. And that blew the back off of that Oahu. So I went back to the fireworks store and got something a little more powerful. And here comes the result in real time. So that was certainly a little more potent. And what really shocked me was how clean the top came off. It could be because it had already been warmed up a lot. Like when luthiers take a top off, they warm it up in order to loosen it up. But anyway, I'm going to show it to you here in slow motion at about 30% of normal speed. Here it is. So you can see most of the braces came off. It was surprising the top and the back are all in one piece, which is pretty shocking. And here comes the top. The top is still held on by the strings. The bridge did not come off. So that was pretty interesting that those parts all held together while even the braces flew off. But again, it could be because they were already loosened up by all the heat that I'd subject to before. So that was interesting. So I found a use for that Carlo Robelli from a previous episode that had a rough time. I needed some kindling for the fire here. Anyway, that's all we've got for the Guitar Hacker. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. And next time, we will have Godzilla versus the Guitar Hacker. See you then.